Hey, this is Hutch Marone, your command coach, and this videos are where we talk about all things command related and the functionality baked into it. There are classes, there is one-on-one coaching, there is concierge services, there's other options. These videos really supplement the workshops themselves, right? So we lean a little bit more on the functionality as a reminder for the learners, and we don't necessarily go through with all of the pro tips and everything that I shared during the workshop. That being said, there are a few Easter eggs in here that you might want to know about. Today's topic is not necessarily a hot topic, but there is a lot of intentionality to it, and that is recording activities around a contact card. So we'll get started. So, as I mentioned, what are we doing today? Right? We are looking at how do I track that activity when I'm being intentional about it. All right. So, first and foremost, let's get into a contact. So, I'm in contacts here, right? And I've got some, and hopefully you do by now. And if you don't, go ahead and add yourself so that you can use yourself as the test case. So, we're going to just click into this first one here. Yes, I know Tom Cruise. Don't laugh. I know him. He's in my sphere. He's in my relationship bank. And here's your activity feed over here, right? So when you want to add an activity, you go here to the big plus sign, and we're going to choose the first choice, add activity. And then if you've had a meeting, a call, if you've sent somebody a text from your phone, right? Command doesn't know that, so you have to tell command. And then of course you have the option for a quick note. Command tracks your contact dates, right? Based on this date here, command is going to basically give you credit for contacting somebody in your relationship bank if it was an in-person meeting, a phone call, or a text message. A quick note is not something, because it might not be a contact, and that's generally what we use quick note for. You didn't reach out to the person. Something may have happened, and you want to remind yourself to talk to them about it later. You want to keep it with their contact card to maybe discuss later down the road, and that's what that's for. So if we had an in-person meeting, let's say a buyer's appointment, and then you can go ahead and add your notes from that buyer's appointment. I'm going to highlight here where it says has responded. Why is that a checkbox? Okay. So you can see by checking this box, right, you are noting that you have interacted with them. In other words, there's been some sort of two-way communication, and that the smart plans such as the 8x8 and 10 days of pain are gone. So I don't think we actually have a 10 days of pain, but there is an 8x8. And it will take them off because the 8x8 and the 10 days of pain are really for leads that you have not had any two-way communication with. So that's why we take them off those smart plans once we've made contact. And the best use of this area over here, your highest and best use, right, is you would add people to smart plans to call them, right? So you'd go here to smart plans, add to smart plan, and let's just say you want to get them on some sort of 90-day call plan. So start now, or you can start at some future time. Confirm. It's rejecting that because I don't have Tom Cruise's phone number, apparently. Who knew? And then it would add them here, and then tasks would come up. The task of making that phone call would come up every 90 days here, and it would also come up in your task list. So you can just go to your task list and look at what you have due that day, and that might include some blend of phone calls, sending birthday cards, those sorts of things, posting birthday messages to people's social media. All depends on the smart plans. You may also add in manual tasks here. And then this button is all about summarizing that activity. The note we talked about here, quick note, That is also the note pencil here, right? You can add it there. And then if you wanted to add a calendar event, if you have chosen to set up Google Calendars or Office 360 calendars, when we talked about that in an earlier video about connecting some of the functionality, this button will launch your Google Calendar so you can add something related to this contact to your Google Calendar, right? Whichever one you've connected in settings, that's what'll get launched. These tasks and Smart Plan activities, they're not added to your calendar automatically. They're not. Hopefully we get there someday, because that'd be super helpful. Some other CRMs do integrate with your Google Calendar, and I believe from what I've heard that is actually going to happen at some point. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure what the holdup is. Let's go, giddy up, right? So tasks come up over here or over here. You're reminded to do a task, and you record it here in activities. Now, let's say there is something that you absolutely have to remember, okay? You know that you find out something when you talk to this person that you want to remember every conversation you have. So there is a field, it is the About field. Always keep these in front, right? So, and I talked about this a little bit in the prior video, and in the workshops, I give a little bit more context or texture around what are some pieces of information you'd want to leave here. But this is for things that every time you call the person, you want to be aware of these items about that person. You know, every time you have contact with them. So you don't want it to be over here on the general timeline, because your timeline over the course of time, right, those notes from that phone call are going to bump down. So description field helps you keep things top of mind, top of mind. You can always select, instead of all activity, just your call activity, and then you can look at your most recent couple of phone calls and see what you've talked about with them. So that's always a good reminder too. That is a good best bet for you, right? Just filter through some of your past calls. So every 90 days, if you're not calling this person, but every 90 days, I don't know about you, but I can't remember what I talked to them about 90 days ago. So I do pull up their old calls, right? Our old calls. And I do look at what we talked about. And I do a couple of other things before I get on the phone with them. And again, we talk about those kinds of things in launch. So join us for one of those when you can. I hope this helped you out and helped you understand a little bit more about how the timeline and tasks and notes and activities and all of that interacts together. Lots of intentionality here that agents are leaving on the table by not putting people on smart plans. So you put somebody on a smart plan, it does things automatically for you and reminds you. If you choose to add tasks individually, you have a better chance of remembering things, right? I mean, we all intend to call people every 90 days or sooner, right? But we don't always do it because there's no place where that comes up. And then when you do it, how do you remember? I know we have the best intentions to remember, but it's just really, as busy as you are, how is that possible that you remember everything for 90 days? I am sure there are some of you out there who can, but that is not me nor many of the agents I've encountered before. If you have not already, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook. Both of those can be found at Hutch Marone, your real estate coach. Also, we have online classes right now for launch is a little bit more beginners, elevate's a little bit more intermediate, and then we have really pro users at one-on-one coaching level and some concierge services for those of you who are just really busy, you like to know about this stuff, but you'd prefer to have somebody do it. Give us a call about those if you're interested, or drop us a message. Look forward to talking to you soon. Hope this helped.